everyone, I'm Megan Lee and welcome to the Noob Reviews. I'm going to review Isom. I should have got this done way earlier. I did record this before I left for Canada and then I lost it, so that sucked. And I was gone for like 2 weeks and then I was sick and here we are doing it again. Isom 2, here is the cover art. I can't remember if this is book A or B. Isom 2, Ill-Advised, part 2. So this is the cover that I opened, and then like this other cover I have not opened. I feel like this is cover B, to be honest, but I could be wrong. Anyways, very cool. Came with a bookmark. So there is a lot happens in here. So we meet a bunch of new characters. We learn why Isom quit, and I kind of understand why we're going to break off into like Alpha Core and, oh, come on, Mike. Why we're going to break off into Alpha Core and we're going to have Yaira, because there is a lot going on. There's a lot of characters. The only thing that made me like a little bit sad was we did not get that band. They were not mentioned at all. Norfolka, not mentioned. That made me sad, but that's okay. It means they're coming in the next one, or one of the next ones. So we start off with Avery's sister, Altona, with her boss, who I don't know if I trust him. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he trustworthy? Is he just somebody who's just going wherever the money is? I don't know. Because in here we have Darren. We have Darren, who has been let in because there's no other way he can get in. He's been let in by her boss to talk to her. Things get out of hand. He backhands her because he's got an attitude. And if you don't respect him, he feels disrespected. He kind of loses his mind because he's like that. So then security comes in, they get rid of Darren, all is well. So that happens. And because boss dude let Darren in, that's what makes me wonder, is he good? Is he bad? Who's he for? Just makes me wonder. Then we go back to the reason why Avery gave up being Isom, why he quit. And we meet these two kids. Basically, they're at like a convention. I don't know, whatever, they're cosplaying or something. And it's an absolute disaster. He's here to rescue them, but this is who he's up against. Chadron. This dude is huge, scary, massive, insane. There he is on the front. Some sort of monster dude. And here is the reason why. So he's fighting off this guy, trying to save the kids, but instead of like focusing on the fight with Isom, Chadron actually leaves the fight, goes after the kids, grabs the girl, and things happen. Doesn't go the way that Avery would hope. We kind of fade to black, and we can assume that she doesn't make it. So that's pretty heavy. That would definitely make somebody want to quit, not want to continue on doing what they're doing. We see Avery, no shame in therapy, guys, talking about it. That's why he quit. So that was dark, but makes sense. And now he's kind of been thrown back into it. In Isom 1, if you recall, he's kind of thrown back into that world. And he is about to be thrown even farther in. Because this book introduces us to other, they're not calling them worlds, they're calling them dimensions. So we are going to find other dimensions, which kind of ties into Norfolka, because Norfolka are people from another dimension, basically, right? Speaking of dimensions and people and characters from other dimensions, Isom's headquarters here, we are introduced to some pretty creepy characters. This one makes such a cool movie. I just love how they're introduced, just the glowing eyes, and then bam! Oh, creepy flame monkey creatures, alien-like creatures that they actually claw at him. So they leave a mark on him. They can speak. They know who he is. They say, "We know what you are, and he will be seeing you soon." Foreboding. And then they just kind of disappear in like a flash of light and are gone. And set everything on fire. Everything burns down. It's kind of a mess. We are introduced to another character, Gooding. He works for the people kind of that live further from the cities, firefighter, cleanup type dude. He's got some tech. He's got some like robotech and stuff. It's kind of cool. Flash forward to Alpha Core headquarters. We get to see a little bit about them, just like the tiniest little bit, how they operate, A little bit of insight into them and their characters. They are speaking of Yaira, trying to figure out who she is, her connections, etc., etc. That's our introduction to Good Ying. A little bit of Alpha Core insight, and we go back to the ranch where things are a mess. Some things have been salvaged, but a lot has been lost. But Good Ying has connections. Oh yeah, this is his ad. Medical response, fire, extinguisher, criminal investigation, and more. Package as low as $49.99 a month. Love it. He seems kind of like an investigator guy, pretty discreet too. So when mysterious things happen on your ranch or farm, he's there for you. Avery gets a call from his sister that Darren showed up and Darren was an asshole. Avery is pissed. We get a little Yaira sighting. She's showing up to do some work with somebody dressed as a normal person. That's all we get to see of Yaira. Now we go to Avery getting all his stuff together. He's ready to go. Remember the ranch hand who disappeared? Nobody had known he disappeared. Avery wasn't aware. His wife comes to the door and says the other night that her husband didn't come home. Remember, he walked into that room and he never came out again. That was in Isom 1. Now, Avery walked into that same room, met those like monster alien creature thingies, and they burned his place down. So off he is. He's gonna go to Good Ying, get more information from Good Ying. Good Ying has robots. Like this, I don't know where this dude gets his money for his business. If he's only charging $49.99 a month, he got some money laid away. Like, this is some high-tech stuff. He's a very interesting dude. Wife faints, gets taken care of by robots, and Good Ying sends Avery off to see this newest character, Sydney Bloodruth. So he takes a long ride to the most strangest place you have ever seen. And I see this coming up and I'm like, did he enter another dimension? Are we still in like real world? What is happening? This is like Dracula's castle. It's so weird. And we meet some creatures. We have wolves, we have dragons. They're guarding Sydney Bloodruth's castle. Like, what is this? So she basically travels to different dimensions, rescues these creatures. They listen to her. She's got a moat full of crocodiles. Here she is, Sydney Bloodruth. So cool. What a character. Love her. And she knows some things. She's got a good library in her castle. So she goes to get some information, and they fly off on her dragon. Which just blew my mind because I was expecting alien-like creatures. I was not expecting dragons in castles with moats. Not at all. And she's the one that explains to Isom about the different dimensions, etc., and traveling between dimensions. And that's where she's obviously gotten these creatures. And that's where these other creatures have come from. They find their den in this cave out in the wilderness. And she has this very cool ability where she can use the blood of others. So while Avery fights all of them, this just cave full of hundreds of these monsters, she goes off. Like, look at her. This is how she attacks them. It's like blood and fire. So gross, but so cool. As they're fighting, she finds the ranch hand, rescues him from the cave that he is in. There's so many of them. Like, this is insane. They're going to be overrun. He keeps fighting. Look at the action. This is incredible. Love it. She uses blood to open the door. It makes her weak, though. I think she used her own blood in this instance. Sometimes she uses her own blood. Sometimes she uses the blood of those she's killed. Rescues Ranch Hand. He's right here. There's somebody inside who was also captured, is dead. So she takes that person's blood and power to get them out of there. And one little thing that we're shown is he is showing signs of either having the power or being affected by those alien creatures, because this is what they do, right? They have that electric fire inside of them. And so either he's not long for this world, or he's kind of been infected by them. So I don't know, is he gonna suddenly turn into one of them, or is he not gonna make it? I don't know. I kind of wonder if he's gonna turn into one of them though, because like, does that mean he has their powers and abilities now? Interesting. So to get down from this cave, she uses the blood, and basically it becomes these little platforms, and they go down, 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 down. They escape. Her wolves come and help fight. They escape on the dragon, and we are left with Isom finishing up the fight. I'm assuming he gets away. That's my assumption. And then we have Isom 3, Inclusion of the Ill-Advised Arc. He's still fighting them off. And we see who I assume is him. This is the him that the two were talking about, the two that went to his headquarters. This is the ultimate he-boss monster dude that Isom is going to face and fight and hopefully not die. So that's intense. So much happened in here. Sydney Bloodruth is awesome. I'm wondering if this guy is going to show up again at some point, probably in the future. We got Sydney Bloodruth and her really interesting abilities. We have new enemies, obviously. We still have Darren. We had a little bit of insight into Alpha Core, a little bit. We saw Yaira for like a couple seconds. I am very, very much looking forward to mostly Yaira, but also Alpha Core. And I really, really, really hope we get back into Norfolka. I'm thinking we should, now that we've been introduced to the different dimensions and had that explained to us. I'm thinking we're going to get back into seeing more of Norfolka and their story. I'm very interested to see how all of these characters tie together, how all of their paths cross, and where everybody's allegiances lie. Also, what's going to happen to the ranch hand? Is he going to turn evil? Is he not? I don't know. This is really fun. And this is honestly better than the first one. I love the first one. This built even more on the first one, and they're only going to get better from here.